Good evening, race fans, and welcome to the SSRL presented by Chasity Tucker Realtor. It's here on Grid Vision live tonight from virtual Kansas Speedway. I'm Joe LaCastro, Jolo, up in the booth, joined by Sheldon Atkins, and down in the truck, it's Austin Derbyshire making it all happen. And the magic is coming to you from the satellite, down through all the fiber optic cables, and across the screen. Here we are flying into beautiful Kansas. Sheldon, how you doing this week?
Pretty good, man. Excited to watch another great race here at Kansas. One of the best tracks on the circuit, one of the best tracks on, well, realistically speaking, the iRacing schedule altogether. With progressive banking from 17 to 20 degrees in the crests of the corners, it kind of opens the doors for these guys to have a lot of opportunities, a lot of different lines, a lot of different places to make time, and a lot of great ways to make passes. But also a lot of ways to mess yourself up and kind of wear them tires out and get these things sliding around. We'll see a lot of opportunistic three-wide moves into the corners here, especially with this being the penultimate race in the SSRL Truck Series Championship, brought to you by Chasity Tucker Realtor.
You know, I didn't have too many expectations going in, but after a week of watching Kansas, I've seen it all, my friend. Why don't you tell us a little bit about some of the keys to driving a circle around here? Yeah,
well, we're going to start off with number one. Find yourself a line that works. I just talked about the progressive banking, 17 to 20 degrees in radius. There's a lot of different places that your truck can work. There's a lot of places that your truck won't be able to work. The two places you really want to focus on, though, is getting the thing good on the bottom. You want to get that thing right up against that fence. You want to get that truck handling perfect up on that outside wall. Do not be afraid of going up there. You might scrape it once or twice, but these trucks, they're pretty durable. Just try not to knock it down too hard, but don't be afraid to get up there and try and push that pocket of air. And number three, one of the things I've seen bite a lot of guys on the hands here with this progressive banking, it makes it really difficult to get down pit road because the tri-oval itself still has banking, 7 to 10 degrees, and it makes it very tricky getting down onto the flat of the apron to get yourself down pit road, and a lot of people will either spin out or lock up the brakes and blow the pit entry and get a nice big old fat penalty.
Yeesh. Okay, well, those are all things to consider here. Let's look at our picks for tonight's race. I was consulting the tea leaves, like I said earlier, looking in the stars and trying to read them, and they said my old pick, Kyle Westwood, has got some heat underneath the pedals tonight. How about you?
Westwood's a good pick, man. He's been picking it up here the past couple weeks, and tonight could be the night that he strikes late into the playoffs, but I wouldn't be surprised if the 9-2. But for me, man, we're at a mile and a half. That's a check. We're at a mile and a half that tire wear is just about everything. I got a good feeling that the closer himself, old Gary Donlan's going to sneak himself up in that 12 machine up to the front of the pack and be in the mix where this thing's over.
The closer. I like that very much. And Darby, what do you got? It's going to be Heath Snyder, 29 machine. Let's see if any of these three, the 92, the 12, or the 29, become one of the pick three that make it across the line.
I'll tell you what, that's three really strong picks. Heath Snyder, too, if memory serves, coming off a win last week. So it'd be interesting to see if he's able to keep the momentum up here as we get into the last two races this season.
Here's some of the conditions in this situation right now. Clear skies, about 7:30 at night, 72 in the air, 75 on the track. A little bit of wind out of the northwest, about 8 miles an hour. Not too much to worry about, but nice cool day. One of the other races I did here this week, man, the track was like 120 degrees. And that was a real scorcher. Middle of the day race, really hot. But tonight it's going to be a little bit cooler. Hey, we got a shout out on the YouTube chat there. Mary Grace Hamilton says, "Go Heath." Thanks for watching, everybody.
Yeah, it looks like we got ourselves a few Heath Snyder fans in the Kansas facility this evening. And you're talking about the track temp. Now, one thing that's always been backwards for me, and I don't know if anybody else has this problem. It might just be the fact that I do everything wrong. But if you drive anything like me, those colder track conditions, I feel like you end up torching that right rear off even quicker. Just because of how easy it is to get back to the throttle and how tempting it is. So that's going to be something these guys are going to have to really be cautious of here.
Yeah, well, here we go. Here, speaking of the guys, let's do the starting grid right now. First things first, pole position, Heath Snyder, number 1. Kyle Westwood, number 2. On the outside, Jason Kratke will be your number 3rd position. Cody Hemingway, 4th. Blair Holloman, 5th. Dave Fuge Jr., 6th. Gary Donnellan, 7th. Jordan Sailors in 8th. Tony Jeffries in 9th. And Nick Jasbowski in 10th.
In 11th place, we got Christopher Fuge with Chad Gunningsman starting to his outside in 12th. 13th place, going to be Joseph Tucker with 14th going to Scott Schroeder. Rolling off the grid in 15th, it's going to be Colby Jackson with JP Jones, his outside in 16th. 17th place is going to be James Staples with Shane Clore starting on his outside in 18th. 19th position going to be Art Nicotera, and rounding out your top 20 is going to be Colton Gardner in the 21.
And bringing it home, we got Evan Ethel in 21st, Noah Walters in 22nd, and Justin Levine in 23rd. Sitting in the back there without a starting qualifying time.
And that would have been low-hanging fruit to pick there.
Yeah.
Justin Levine in the Mac Tools Toyota Tundra. I mean, heck, we saw what he did here last week in the big cars. Pretty good here at Kansas. And Justin Levine, probably one of the best truck racers I've raced against here on the service. It's always good to see him, dip his toes here into the truck series and see what kind of pace he's going to bring to the table this evening.
And so he shall. The pace is going to be starting from the back of the line, but as we've seen before, that's not much of a handicap in the Levine situation. We'll probably see him be challenging for the middle of the pack pretty soon before we're even in the double digits here. So watch out, guys in the middle. If you want to make a name for yourself, going ahead and defending against that might be the way to do it. There goes the pace truck. He's off. The pace car, they're off. And now we're going to get things started here, looking for the start zone. There's Heath Snyder. There's Cody Hemingway. Excuse me, Heath Snyder and Kyle Westwood. And we are go on Grid Vision.
Heath Snyder getting a really good launch on the inside lane, going to kind of stack up that outside line. Kyle Westwood not getting through the gears the way he needed to here on the initial start. Jason Kratke falling in line right behind the 29 machine as he work away down the back straightaway. Blair Holloman going to look down to the inside of the Jack Daniels machine into turn 3.
Look at this, already 3 wide in a couple places around here on this track. 54 machine of Jason Kratke out front, looking for that second place spot. It's got it by a nose right now, but not by much more. 32 of Blair Holloman right behind. Quick shout out from YouTube again. Riley Anderson saying, "Go Noah." So everyone's here for the start of this race. Everyone's excited. We got a lot of race to go. So 85 laps coming up, folks.
Right now, Heath Snyder, probably one of the favorites for the championship, up here in control of this thing. Just a half a truck length. Now side-by-side battle for the lead as Kratke dives it down to the inside line, right up against the white paint. Going to come door to door down the front straightaway with Heath Snyder in the 29 Grid Vision machine at the stripe. Jason Kratke's going to lead lap 2, but here comes Heath Snyder with a heck of a run on the top line. And they're still side-by-side through 1 and 2.
Side-by-side through 1 and 2, indeed. And there's a lot of side-by-side going on. Looks like the line has straightened out just a little bit, though. As we are rounding just lap 3, it's already been a pretty exciting race as guys are figuring out exactly where and how they want to line this up, where their line is going to be for the duration of the race. Like we said, you want to find that line and stick to it. And right now, it looks like a few different lines are forming up here at the front. Potentially still a third line there up on the top, says Blair Holloman.
Holloman's going to stick it up there against the wall as soon as he possibly can and probably keep it up for the most of the race. We've seen that out of him all year. If there's an extra lane that you can use at a track, Blair Holloman's typically the first one to go up there and dust the marbles off it and try to make something stick out of it. And according to plan, the 32 Matco Tools machine working up there right now as Kratky gets way loose in front of him out of turn 4. And that opens the door for Kyle Westwood. Westwood trying to get up here in a second. He wants to be in the position to try and fight for this championship.
Yeah, that was an unfortunate wiggle out there. That wiggle almost cost Kratky more than he wanted to sign up for. But thankfully, he was able to hold on to it and keep it straight. Still up high, you know, that's where Holloman usually lives, and right now it's kind of forcing the guy down a little bit lower. But some of those blocks that we were seeing Kratky throw maybe have caught him come back to bite him now. It looks like he fell back a few positions.
Also, one truck kind of in danger already of going a lap down here at the start. Colby Jackson started from the pits, not really getting up to speed the way he necessarily wants to right now. Be something to keep your eyes on as we look a little bit further back in the pack. 3 wide racing, Fuge in the center. Gary Donnellan down to the bottom, and up against the fence is Hemingway in the 10 machine. Fuge going to duck out of it here, let these guys figure it out amongst themselves, try to give a push to the back of the 10 machine of Hemingway through 1 and 2. You know, Fuge up into the fence in 1 and 2, kind of lost the nose, slid up the track into the marbles, and a huge loss of speed and a huge loss of spots for the 22 machine.
Yeah, big sparks out of Dave Fuge there. Falling back a number of places after leaving his mark all over the inside wall.
Here we go for the lead. Westwood going to dive down to the inside here of Heath Snyder coming out of turns 3 and 4. Down to the flat of the racetrack, but Snyder's going to lead lap 7. Westwood in prime position right now, though. Hooked up against the inside line with the good head of steam through 1 and 2, but here comes Heath fighting back up against the fence. With his back against the wall, Heath Snyder's going to pull down the back straightaway and take the lead back into 3.
Wow, Westwood had him for just about half a lap there. The competition up here at the front, not bad, as Jordan Sailors throws his hat into the ring, dives down to the inside, looks for the apron, says, I can get some good position on this. Is unable to do much more, though, than to put it right now to the tail of Heath Snyder. Can't get much more position than that, but that's going to give him second place as Westwood cycles back to 3rd.
And Sailors keeping up the pace that he brought last week to Texas Motor Speedway. Still looking fast in the Red Bull Chevrolet here tonight at Kansas. Bit of a roller coaster of emotions for that one machine this season, but really clicking in strong here these last handful of races.
It's the understatement of the year right there. Jordan Sailors has been all over these tracks, ups and downs, and been wrecked out
upside down a few times.
And upside down a couple of times, but one of the more driven racers that we see, pun heavily intended. We like to see him heavy competition early in the race, and that's where he's at right now, pushing second place, pushing Heath Snyder a little further up the track. It's about as hard as he can.
I'll tell you what, when it comes to these leagues, man, it doesn't take much to show up and race. Run a couple races, you know. And once you get into that slump where just every week it seems like something different happens to you. Every race feels like a scene out of Final Destination. You know, a lot of drivers get discouraged and they just get off the track. They don't run the rest of the season. But Sailors, you know, showing grit and tenacity, sticking it through all the way up to the end of the season. And right now you're seeing, you know, the benefits of those rewards.
Yep. Yes, sir. You got to do it for the fans. And that's us. Seeing everybody drive here. We've got another little pack in the center here. That's Dave Fuge now off the wall on the inside of the track now. With the 24 of James Stables just behind him. Oh, getting close now with the 22. But no contact. Fuge finding the spot in behind Staples. Behind Fuge now, it's the 14 of JP Jones on the outside. You were talking earlier about the paint scheme of the 68 of Christopher Fuge. You want to talk about that again here? You want to let the folks know what they're looking at?
Yeah, it's a little bit of a pretty cool little hodgepodge here. A little bit of a throwback to the 68 IWX machine as you see him up against the fence through 1 and 2. A little bit of a scrape, but no harm, no foul. Right behind him, Stables just about loses it coming out of turn 2.
Yeesh.
You know, it's got the W logo up there, and it kind of looks stylized like the old Dole Fruits logo. It used to find on the bananas way back in the day. It's a pretty cool paint scheme. These Fuge guys always run some pretty stout-looking hot rods here in this series. I'm sorry, I meant to say pineapple. Could have swore that I had seen Dole bananas at some point, Darby.
Oh, they sell a little bit of everything. They did
yeah.
peaches. They're a general fruit brand.
Oh, but here we go for the lead right now. Kyle Westwood making another dive down to the bump through 3 and 4, and he's going to try for the slide job here through 3 and 4. Up against the wall, almost able to clear, but here comes Heath Snyder fighting back on the outside line. And now Westwood with the disadvantage because he had to crack out of the throttle a little bit there. Got a little bit of a side draft off the 29 machine too, making it difficult for him to clear back into 1 and 2. Snyder up against the fence, and he's just going to keep on trucking. High, wide, and handsome. Here comes Heath Snyder back up to the lead.
Wow, yeah, that slide job almost paid off. If he had held onto that spot, though, he definitely would have put himself right into the nose of Heath Snyder. He needed to get off that throttle just a little bit, probably more than either you or I could really have seen from this point of view. But that was a calculated decision from Kyle Westwood. Unfortunately, cost him just enough momentum that he wasn't able to secure the bag, at least not right there in terms of leading that lap. But it's going to be another just a couple of laps to go in this race. And by a couple of laps, I mean, of course, quite a few. That was meant to be an understatement, and it came across completely backwards. Anyways, folks, we're on about lap 16 here right now, looking for 85. We got a stage break coming up here, I believe at lap 30. I want to double check that here, make sure I got that right. 35 is where we're going to stop for the stage. So we've still got a little ways to go. Lap 17 now. We're about halfway there to that stage break. But we hope you've been enjoying the race so far. Be sure to smash that like and subscribe button. Hit that bell for us. We really appreciate it.
What you're seeing right now to these front two, it's a little tinge of desperation as well. These guys both know that it could very well come down to who has the most playoff points to win the championship next week. And both of these guys want to be in the best possible position. Any other week you'd see Westwood probably, taper off, let the 29 machine go out there and run with it and try to work himself up there at the end of the race. Right now, every point, every position, every, tenth of a second on the track matters more than it does at any point in the season. And these guys both just get the game plan. Westwood wants to get by that 29 machine, and that 29 machine knows that his championship hopes could very well just instantly be dashed if that 92 machine of Westwood is able to get that extra point on him. Because it all matters.
Well, I just want to take a look at the YouTube chat here for a second. I'm going to pull that up. Sheldon, sounds like you got called out.
Yeah, hang on, let me pull that out.
I always appreciate little interaction from the folks online. Chris, you're just running a throwback to Randy Tolsma's 61 Dole truck. His great uncle was the crew chief.
That's pretty sick.
That's from John Fuge himself.
Yeah, that is actually incredibly sick. Would certainly love to see pictures of that car at some point. Whoa, huge move, huge slide for Hemingway there. Heads up driving. Sailor's got a little bit loose coming out of turn 4. Hemingway almost up into the quarter panel. And an impressive job to keep himself off of the 1 machine, going down the back straightaway. But here comes Sailors diving it down pit road.
Ooh, some little smoke there from the tires. But Sailors is going to be, I think, the first one to send it down pit road here. First and only one right now.
Yeah, it's a bit of an off strategy here, but maybe Sailor's trying to set up here for a little bit of a different strategy maneuver to try and, get himself into position to possibly walk away with the win. He's got the pace this week. He's had it the last 2 weeks, but back up here at the front right now. Watching Westwood work on Heath Snyder for the lead, but look who has slipped himself up into the mix. The 39 Chasity Tucker Realtor machine of Joseph Tucker now all over the back bumper of Kyle Westwood, and now diving down to the inside into 3.
Wow, I have got to start picking Joseph Tucker more often. His second last race of the season, but I should have been picking Joseph Tucker more often, especially later in this season. He has just been heating up and really picking up his pace here in these races, in these truck races.
Week in and week out, I swear he's probably one of the most improved in the series right now. Every week he just finds just a little bit more, and each week it feels like he's closer and closer to a possible win. Already got 1 on the season this year. possibly 2. Can't quite recall. It's been a long way we've come with this series, but Joseph Tucker's definitely been wheeling.
Wheeling and dealing.
See him now side by side into turn 1, getting a huge run of momentum into turn 1, trying to pull a slide job on the 92 machine of Westwood, and he's going to be able to get it this time. Joseph Tucker now up to second place as we start to click the laps off here in the first stage.
Only about 10 left in the first stage. Well, about 11, actually, in this case.
Comes Westwood. Westwood going to dive in, try and get the undercut.
Following the strategy maybe set down by Jordan Sailors.
Oh, weapon of the fence, the 39 machine of Tucker.
Uh-oh.
Caught it on the right rear coming into 1.
Doesn't seem to have affected him too much, but remember, this is the kind of thing where the damage is progressive. The more you hit the wall, the more it adds up, the more hit points you lose. And it's not just like, you go down to 0 and then you're out. The lower it gets, the harder your car is going to drive.
Also, we got a handful of trucks on pit road now. Christopher Fuge leading Scott Schroeder. And trying to see who Art Nicotera down pit road right now. Gary Donelon also signaling out the window that he's going to be diving it down pit road. And Tucker is there.
Here comes a handful of cars now. One more, while we got some pit stops going on, one more quick shout out there. It looks like it was Christopher Fuge's brother who made the W logo. So it was the whole family was involved there in that throwback scheme. Always nice to see the creativity of our drivers.
It's definitely a clean hot rod. Here's your race leader, Heath Snyder, diving it down pit road here, and he's going to lead a handful of trucks with him this time. Behind him is going to be the 32 machine of Blair Holloman. Chad Gunningsman also diving it down pit road. And one car
sideways. That's Dave Fuge. Puts it sideways coming down pit road, but keeps it clean, spins it back around, no yellow.
28 laps on the board
Staples. Now. That's not Staples. That's Tucker.
Yep, Tucker diving it down. Yeah, that's just it. Almost. I mentioned it in the pre-race. It's a very difficult pit road to get into. It is so easy. Once you get down to that apron, I don't know how we can necessarily show it. It's one of those things you just have to feel. But it's like it tries to push you out. Like, as soon as you try to get the truck down there, it does everything it can to unsettle the truck. No matter what angle, you hit it one way, it's going to try and wash up 3 lanes. You hit it the other way, it's going to try and spin out. It's definitely a tricky one to get on.
That is clear.
If everything cycles out right here, yes, it does. Heath Snyder back in control here with just 6 laps to go in stage 1.
There it is. Snyder in control, Tucker in second, Westwood in third. All only about a 2-second difference between these 3 up here at the top. Actually between these 4. Jordan Sailors is here. Here's Dave Fuge entering pit lane now on the Wayback Machine. Ooh.
He catches the grass there, and that throws him around.
Yeah. We just missed the entrance completely. Had to come in from the outside. That grass took all the traction out of those tires. But I'm sure he'll be back on his 2 feet. It looks like he did do the wall, though. Just a little bit. He hit the wall just a little bit. But we'll see how much damage that does to the car.
And Kyle Westwood getting a huge run through 3 and 4, pulling up to the back bumper of Heath Snyder. I thought Snyder, being a little bit fresher stuff, was going to have a bigger advantage, but no, here comes Westwood now diving it through 1 and 2, down to the inside, going to pull the slide job and have a huge move down the back straightaway. Kyle Westwood, now your race leader. Top line through 3 and 4. Jordan Sailors takes over second place. Thinking Heath may be out on older stuff right now, and these guys around him on fresher, but those points so important. This could be launching Kyle Westwood into a great position here for the championship as he works himself down the back straightaway on a little bit of lap traffic here.
You're telling me. This would be it. Sounds like Heath's on no tires right now. Just a little top up.
He's been pretty married to that strategy, to keep an extra set of tires in the box. He's done it all season.
There's a few people here who might have done.
Kratkeys, keep it under you, brother. Now with 2 laps to go.
Some short strategies there. Tucker also possibly not taking tires during that pit stop.
Pit lane is closed here for the end of the stage. Kyle Westwood, your race leader,
Yep.
up a second over second place Jordan Sailors. Pete Snyder sitting back there in third, 3 seconds back already. The disparity in the tires is definitely shining through right now.
Shining through it is, and another shining star right now is Kyle Westwood out in front. He was in second place when this race started, held on. What a run so far. He's now in first, up 1 position, but behind him is Jordan Sailors in second. He's up 6 places from where he started, already putting in a hard drive for this race, but maybe realizing that the stage is coming to an end, he's leaving just a little bit of room there for Westwood. Just a little bit of a gap. Behind that, Heath Snyder's going to bring it home probably for your 1, 2, 3 here. It looks like that's going to be things as it crosses the line here. And we get ready to end stage 1. Let's see what happens with Kyle Westwood. Down across the line, it's going to be Westwood, Sailors, and Snyder for your 1, 2, 3 across the line at the end of stage 1. We'll be right back, folks, after a little word from our sponsors, so don't go nowhere. Grid Vision is still on the air.
You need Marconi. With the launch of Marconi Entertainment and Marconi Competizone alongside Marconi Setup Shop, we now provide the best of the best in setups, paint schemes, coaching, broadcasting, and event organization.
With cars across all 4 license classes, we have what you need to hit the track with confidence. Grab a subscription and save money while going fast at MarconiSetupShop.com/subscriptions.
And remember, at Marconi Setup Shop, there are setups, but your victories.
Are you looking to add to your diecast collection? Well, visit GoatRacingDiecast.com. Explore one of the largest collections available with the options for pre-orders, new inventory, and the GOAT's personal collection for over 25 years. There's an option for every level of hobbyist. Ship direct. Personal custom diecasts are available. shop the Goat Racing merch store. And if you're a driver, apply for a sponsorship today. Turn your hobby into a passion and head on over and shop GoatRacingDiecast.com.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world.
Hey folks, welcome back to Grid Vision. Joe LaCastro here up in the booth with Sheldon Atkins and Austin Derbyshire down in the truck. We're about to get things started for the second half of tonight's race here from Kansas Speedway. There goes the pace car. The trucks are all lined up. Blair Holloman out in the front. Kyle Westwood out there as well on the outside. There's a Geico restart zone, and we are green yet again here on Grid Vision.
Clean run up through the gears for Blair Holloman up here at the point. Going to get a 2-truck length advantage down into 1 and 2 as we look back. Second place, Jordan Sailors side by side with your stage winner, Kyle Westwood, down the back straightaway. Westwood getting the advantage on the top line, though, with a little bit of help from his friends. Looks like Hemingway there. Oh, sorry. Nope. Heath Snyder there behind him, pushing him. Black and yellow threw me off there for a moment.
It's all right. We haven't seen a lot of pushing lately in this race. And the lighting, yeah, look at the sunset lighting we got here. Oh, look at this. A five pip situation. It looked briefly like the 5-side of a 6-sided dice. But now things are lighting back up in here into a 2x2 formation.
Another big push down the back straightaway. Snyder going to give the advantage to the 92 truck of Westwood into 3 and 4, but Sailors going to send it in deep through 3 and 4. Almost slides up into the door of Westwood down the front straightaway. Yeah, it looks like Sailor's going to lead lap 40.
Almost, but not quite, and not quite totally counts here.
And Snyder's doing a really good job of just doing everything he can to try and tandem that 92 machine to the point it's going to work here into 3 and 4. Kyle Westwood going to take over the lead. Now Snyder deadlocked side by side with the 1 truck of Jordan Sailors here on the front straightaway. Sailors gets a little bit of wiggle, and that's going to give the position to the 29 machine of Snyder. Now Snyder's back up in second place.
Great driving out of Heath Snyder there. Very strategic.
And the second verse of this race looking to be very similar to the first, as it's coming up to the 92 and the 29 here again.
Westwood out in front with Snyder and Tucker. Currently the 1, 2, 3. Let's see if Snyder wants to put the heat on Westwood a little bit here. We can get there and close the distance a little bit.
And here he comes with a deep dive down into 1. Heath Snyder going to line up on the bottom of the track and try to send it through 1 and 2, but not able to clear. Here comes Westwood fighting back on the outside line. The same thing we saw earlier, but in reverse.
And he side drafted him enough to keep him out in the front, though.
It's going to be a tall ask here, but he's going to get a really good run through 3 and 4, but still not able to clear it.
That's going to do it right there. Watch that. The apron pushes him ahead just a little bit. But still not quite enough.
Snyder going to send it down into 1 and 2.
There it is.
Westwood try for the crossover. Yes, he does. Westwood trying to cross over down the back straightaway. Going to get down to the inside, up to the quarter panel. A dead even into 3, and here comes Westwood trying to slide job through 3 and 4. He gets it.
That's a tough move. What a solid move. These two at the front here, with Westwood and Snyder, are putting on a absolute duel of the fates level moment right now. I can hear the choir pounding in the background.
These drivers know what's on the line here.
Yeah, this is it. You got two chances.
Yeah, wanting to scrounge up every point they possibly can. You know, if you go into next week, and have a bad race, you're instantly going to look back at what you did at Kansas the week before and see if there's anything that you could have pulled. Nobody wants to have anything left on the table.
Yeah. Do not leave this track empty-handed.
And aggressive clear from Heath Snyder. Going to drive himself up off of the nose of Kyle Westwood down the back straightaway. Westwood peeking every which way to try and find a way past the 29 Grid Vision machine, but not able to get it this time.
Snyder. Just defensive driving is the name of the game right now for Heath Snyder. He's staying low, but he's staying in front of Kyle Westwood as much as he possibly can.
On the back straightaway, and these two looking like they're pretty much sewed up for now. Look a little bit further in the pack. Kratky trying to make a move down to the inside of the 97 truck. Genningsman going to be able to clear him here through 3 and 4, and he's going to bring Tucker along with him.
Here's 39 of Tucker down to the inside. Kratky and the Jack Daniels machine up on the outside. Still using that outside geometry as much as he can, but it's not going to be quite enough to hold off Tucker, who slides it up, takes that spot. He's in fourth now.
Kratky just about had the rear tires of the Chasity Tucker machine lifted up off the track down the back straightaway. Did not lift for that slide job much at all.
No, he didn't. Kratky, though, driving very, very hard right now. Still down 2 from where he started, but putting on a pretty darn good show.
Kratky winner earlier in the season. Not quite the luck that he's looked for on the second half of the season, but making a good effort here these last handful of weeks, getting good positions, finally finishing the races out where he belongs. Up there in that top 5, top 10 bracket.
If we look back a little bit here in the track, here's Gary Donnellan, your pick for tonight. He's sitting around 14th right now, but we think he's just doing that tire save thing. You know, we still got a lot of time left here.
It's Donnellan. You don't hit the panic button until you see one lap to go when it comes to Donnellan. Because that's a crafty racer there in that truck.
You got to kind of see biscuit Gary Donnellan a little bit. You got to let him see the other cars winning the race for a little bit. Then that puts the heat underneath his engine, and he gets a little bit extra out of it.
Just look at Youngsman still fighting with Kratky. Kratky using the top line for the advantage. A little bit further back, there's Colton Gardner, the 74 machine, and Scott Schroeder. These two have been fighting here for the past handful of laps. Schroeder working the inside line, trying to get up to the back bumper of the 21 machine. Meanwhile, looking up at the front of the pack, here's the 29. Still a truck length separating him and Kyle Westwood as Westwood tapers it down to the bottom here. Going to try and make another stab at it, get a little bit of clean air to the nose of that Chevrolet. And they're nearly going to come out side by side on the back straightaway, but Heath Snyder going to pull away into 3.
And that's going to be good for Snyder. He's had a good run out here at the front so far. He's been able to hold on to his lead fairly well. Westwood only really held him off one time, and before this last cycle, and since then it's been Heath Snyder out at the front of this race. Chad Genningsman with 97 right now, slotting himself in behind Jason Kratky in the 6th place position. He's up 6 places. Behind him, Colton Gardner's up 13 places. The hardest charger in the race so far. One of the only 2 who's in the double digits in terms of moving up positions. Him and Joseph Tucker. Tucker's up to 3rd place, up 10 places overall. So we've had a couple guys, only 2 guys, who have made it over 10 places worth of charging right now, which means everybody else is kind of hovering around where they started. There's only been a few other times people have slid around, but Heath Snyder and Kyle Westwood, the 1st and 2nd positions in this race, that's exactly where they started. Here comes, once again, eyes on Chad Genningsman. That red machine. Right behind Kratky, he's moved up to 4th now. Genningsman on the inside, looking to make the pass very similar to what we just saw, but the front, where the attempted pass, almost occurred. Instead, it's going to be a hop down to the apron for Kratky. And then squeezing Genningsman just a little bit up to the outside. Just a bit. Needs that speed because he knows that this is the spot where he's going to lose it.
Oh.
Yeah,
Not in the corner for Kratky. Also, Westwood diving deep down, trying to get back to the inside of the 39 machine of Tucker. Gonna try for the slider here. I don't think he's gonna have the room to do it, though, with the 29 of Snyder up there. It's gonna be a tight fit, and he's just barely gonna get away with it. Westwood is trying everything here tonight at Kansas.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, how do you like that?
Tell you what, this is the Kyle Westwood I've been wanting to see all year.
Yes, sir.
Trying every last move that he can possibly get to try and get himself the most out of this race. As you right on board with Tucker now, running the inside line through 3 and 4, trying to get to the bottom, and he's going to be able to, but not able to find the momentum he needs to pull him away. He's going to be side by side with Westwood coming into 1 and 2, and it's going to be a tall ask to get by both of these trucks at the same time, but Tucker's going to try it.
There goes one. Let's see if he's got the other one in him. Can he do it?
Not able to do it here as the outside line prevails again down the back straightaway here at Kansas. Tucker trying to keep it sealed up against that inside line, take the shorter distance around the track and try and pull up into a slide job position. But what he needs is for Heath Snyder to make a mistake on that outside line, get up into the fence a little bit and break his momentum and break the momentum of the 92. But I just don't think you're going to see it. Heath has been absolutely flawless since we took the flag at the start of this thing about a half hour ago.
And right now, on the inside, the 39 of Joseph Tucker is fighting the palindrome of the 2939, the 2992. Heath Snyder and Kyle Westwood. Yeah, right?
And the problem right now, though, if you're Joseph Tucker, is you've gotten yourself in a situation where you absolutely need to clear these guys. The longer you stay down there, not utilizing the maximum distance or the maximum width of the racetrack, the more of a disadvantage you're putting yourself in those tires through. The more difficult it's going to be to steer that truck, the more you're going to chatter that right front tire. And you're going to end up in a situation like you're seeing right now where you're just diminishing returns every move that you make to try and get by these guys. I like what he's doing right now, getting it back up there in line with them, letting the balance shift the way it needs to be. Maybe try for an outside maneuver. It's gonna be hard though, because these two, they're fighting for a championship up here. And they want to keep that 39 truck away from them. They want to keep him from spoiling the drink, so to speak.
Yeah. But it looks like he's going to do it on the outside here. He's going to try. Westwood got pushed out of the way, though. Yeah, there was a little contact there, I think.
He got a little bit of a shot. Just, Tucker's trying everything he can, too. And he's working that outside line around the 92 machine of Westwood, side-by-side, dead even at the start-finish line, that go-round. Advantage coming into 1 and 2, though, for Tucker up against the fence, so long as he doesn't have any issues in the dirty air of the 29 machine of Heath Snyder. Snyder kind of about runs over the wall and gets a huge shot from behind on the back straightaway from Tucker. And here comes Tucker diving down to the inside, a quick fake back up to the outside lane.
No one took the bait. Is he going to take the outside?
Higher. It's going to get a little bit better of a run coming out of 3 and 4. He's got a faster truck, and he lifts the back tires of the 29 machine of Snyder up off the ground here at the start-finish line.
He's going to push Snyder to the absolute limit right now. We are about approaching the 20-lap mark in this race, and the race right now in the front is really hot.
And here he comes, looking to the inside. Tucker going to dive deep down in turn 3, going for the slide job. Not able to clear just yet. I don't think he's going to be able to do it. Just barely. Oh, and that's as close as you can get it. Tucker, your race leader, but here comes Snyder fighting back with that outside line momentum. It's going to be a lot harder in 1 and 2 to get that maneuver pulled off.
Yeah.
But he's going to try it. And he's going to do
He's got
it.
the space. Yeah.
Tucker, your race leader. Snyder going to dive down to the inside line, though, to try and pull a crossover on the 39 while he's hurt from momentum. He's only got this one opportunity to do it, and I don't think he's going to be able to get it done. Here comes Snyder ducking it down pit road, throwing up the white flag. He's going to lead Gunningsman with him and a handful of others.
With him going down pit road, it's Tucker and Westwood now still blasting around the track and try to see who's going to take the front of this race. until they have to pit.
Right now, it's looking like Tucker. A trunk length and a half separating him from second place. Down into 3. I think Joseph Tucker's going to be bringing it down pit road this time. Yes, he is. You see him backing it down. Good clean entry for all 3 of these trucks here.
Ooh, about as clean as you can get at speed. But I don't think anybody got any black flags off that. That was about it. Clean, clean, clean. 1, 2, 3.
You're seeing Snyder get out of pit road here. You just have a good clean exit, no penalties. There's Genningsman right there in the 97 Reaper machine. Snyder going to clear Shane Clore. Back up onto the track without a penalty. Good cycle there for the 29 machine. Let's see what Tucker does here. Snyder's going to come out with a little bit more of an advantage here on the short take.
Just a small one.
Here comes Tucker. Man, he's booking it. He's trying to get everything he can out of that 39 machine. Going to come out in the lead here. That's a big pit stop for Joseph Tucker. Comes out with the advantage. He might get overtaken here. That's a lot of momentum coming from that 29 machine up on the top. He's definitely going to get past here at the start-finish line, but Tucker did a great job coming down pit road and not losing any time to your race leader.
'39 versus the 29 right now here at the front.
Oh, here we go. The 29 machine. He's Snyder will come down, try and pull a side draft down the back straightaway on the 39 machine of Tucker. Down to 3, and these two aren't giving each other an inch. They know how important this is.
Well, let's not forget the number 1 car right now, though, is Colton Gardner. Up 19 positions.
Yeah, but Gardner's going to have to come down pit road and throw on 4 fresh Goodyears and some...
He better, yeah. I was going to say.
No, never mind. Garner just pit way early compared to the rest of these guys, but he's about to be overtaken pretty quick because those tires have definitely been past their prime. Very abrasive surface here at Kansas.
Just an interesting place to look. Yeah, I think Garner's strategy was just get in there early, then run it down. And right now he is suffering the run it down portion of that.
Yep, 3 wide through 1 and 2 for the race lead.
Who's going to come out of this on top?
Got a feeling it's going to be Snyder because he's just got the opportunity to keep the engine wound up a little bit better. And yes, Snyder gets a better run through 3 and 4, but Tucker is still right there on the rear deck lid.
Very good, very good. Not a bad place to find oneself in Joseph Tucker's position. He can make the attack whenever he needs to, but we're going to take one short break here, folks. And when we get back, the last 16 laps here at Kansas. So don't go nowhere. Welcome back, race fans. It's me, Jolo, up in the booth here at Grid Vision with Sheldon Atkins and Austin Derbyshire. And we're bringing you the last stretch here of the race from Kansas, the SSRL Truck Series, presented by Chasity Tucker Realtor. And right now it's lap 74. We're looking for another 11 laps here with Heath Snyder right now out in front. Joseph Tucker in second. Kyle Westwood sailing around about a second and a half behind that in third.
Right now, Tucker still battling fiercely with Heath Snyder up here at the point of this thing. And if memory serves, Tucker got cut out coming into this race. You know, last round of the playoffs didn't necessarily play out in the favor that he was looking for in the 39 truck. You see him wheel it around the outside line, taking the lead away from the 29 machine of Heath Snyder down the back straightaway. But out here trying to show that he belonged in that final round of the championship, and doing one heck of a job at it too, as he's going toe-to-toe with probably the hands-on favorite here for the SSRL Truck Series Championship.
Yes, sir. Toe-to-toe is exactly the position that these guys find themselves in, and they have been in for some time here. Working really, really hard in and around this battle has been Joseph Tucker and Heath Snyder. Kyle Westwood was also a big part of the fight for a while, but unfortunately it looks like he's fallen off a little bit here compared to the guys fighting up at the front. Westwood's sitting back there with the 33 of Justin Levine, who's a lap down right now.
What's going on in the Levine camp? Because I was expecting that thing to be bad fast here tonight.
Well, that's usually a fair expectation. He's one of the fine drivers in the league, one of the faster drivers that we got, and usually we'd find him like sitting. I would not be surprised with him not qualifying, but then I would be surprised by not seeing him actually, charge up through the ranks a little bit here. It could be that he got a speeding penalty. That's right. I'm getting reminded by
the first stage
down on the
too,
truck,
though. He was just floating around at the back of the pack, so I'm kind of surprised.
Well, anything could happen here. It does seem as though things have cooled off a little bit there for Justin Levine, who is sitting back there on one lap down. But up in the front, Joseph Tucker is holding on to the lead.
Pulling away with the lead, too. 0.7 of a second now separating him in second place. Heath Snyder, the biggest gap we've seen here all night. The laps winding down. Just across the line. That's going to give us 7 laps to go here.
Get a quick grid vision view of all the cars that are racing in tonight's race. A couple names we've mentioned so far. Tony Jeffries.
I'll tell you one thing, too. Somebody that's really snuck himself up here into this top 5 with probably the quietest race I've seen all season, Chad Gunningsman. Another week in a row, just scratching and clawing and getting himself a good finish here. Sitting in the 4th position right now.
Another power name that has just been riding around about the middle of their my expectations right now. But another power name indeed.
I'll tell you what, another week in a row, he's made the most out of what he has, and he's maximizing here on track position. Getting himself good finishes. That's how he dominated the first half of the season in the points. Won early in the season, then just put together sneaky good runs week in and week out. And here we are seeing it again out of that 97 machine. And somebody that's not sneaking around at all, though, is Joseph Tucker up there with a second lead over second place Heath Snyder.
That's right. 1 second over Heath Snyder, and with 5 laps to go in tonight's race. Folks, if you're watching the whole race with us, boy, it was great having you here. Really appreciate all your support. If you're new to the race and just catching the end of it, we're glad you could be here for the best part. We've got Joseph Tucker, Heath Snyder, and Kyle Westwood battling it out here at the top, but it looks like Joseph Tucker is kind of taking it away as we get down to the last couple of laps here. So if you've been watching the race, go ahead and do us a favor. Smash that like and subscribe button. Hit that bell. Follow us week in and week out. We've got more racing coming up here from Grid Vision, so stay tuned. 3 laps in, Joseph Tucker out in front by several car lengths now at this point. Heath Snyder about a second, almost a second and a half behind, 1.3 there on the clock. And only 2/10 behind him is Kyle Westwood. So there could be a little bit of a change of the guard there between the two of them. We could see Westwood move up, make that move toward the last lap here and try to get that pass. And right behind them, Chad Genningsman, the 97 car. Actually, I think that's it's a little further back. I think it's a lap car they're dealing with there up there at the front.
Yeah, it's Levine stuck in the middle.
It's Levine. Okay, that's who I thought. Justin Levine there up at the front, tucked in right with Kyle Westwood and Heath Snyder.
Joseph Tucker leading this thing through 3 and 4 here. With 1.2 seconds, he can just pretty much coast to it from here at this point. Nice little Monday cruise for Joseph Tucker with the white flag in the air here. One more lap to go at Kansas.
Monday cruise it is. The sun has set at Kansas. It's cool on the track, and it's cool in his head right now. It's got to be Joseph Tucker with the smoothest finish to this Kansas race that I've seen all week so far. Really, really good job here as he comes down through 3 and 4. The Chasity Tucker Realtor. We got a battle for second still.
Yep.
Kyle Westwood.
And a slide job. A slide job. Kyle Westwood going to take the position from Heath.
There we go. Joseph Tucker crossing the line and Kyle Westwood smashing that second place spot, taking it from Heath Snyder. Big finish. Not bad, guys. Joseph Tucker winning it all at Kansas.
And a big win for Joseph Tucker, too. A big statement as well to the SSRL Truck Series here. Just if things worked out just a little bit better in the points, man, he'd be sitting on top of the bill here as a championship favorite, but unfortunately not able to make it in, but comes out here with speed that I haven't seen out of him all season and just locks up and steals a win from 2 of the series best. And also a huge last-second maneuver from Kyle Westwood to steal the position coming to the start-finish line from the 29 machine of Heath Snyder.
It was about the biggest move that we had from them in the last 5 laps after things were starting to sort themselves out, and Joseph had really straightened out. Look at that sideways slide he's got there. Very classy. After things had straightened out and Joseph was coming away with the lead, Westwood and Snyder were still within a tenth of each other, just duking it out to the very end. These guys up at the front put on one hell of a show tonight, folks, and I, for one, have really loved it, and I hope that you guys did too.
Let's give Tucker burn it down.
Yeah, he had a pretty good one. Let's give you the full results here unofficially from Kansas Speedway. First place is Joseph Tucker. Second it was Kyle Westwood. Third it was Heath Snyder. Fourth, Chad Genningsman. Fifth, Jason Kratke. Sixth, Scott Schroeder. Seventh, Cody Hemingway. Eighth, Art Nicotera. Ninth, Evan Ethel. And 10th, Colton Gardner.
In 11th place, you got Gary Donlin, followed by Christopher Fuge in 12th. 13th, going to go to Jordan Sailors. 14th, going to JP Jones. In 15th position, you got Blair Holloman, followed by Shane Clore in 16th. 17th, going to Nick Jezebowski. Then 18th place is going to be Tony Jeffries. 19th position tonight is going to be Justin Levine, followed by 20th place, James Staples. Then rounding out the 23 truck field is going to be Dave Hughes Jr., Noah Walters, and Colby Jackson.
Very good, very good, very good. And our top 3 finishers are now sitting at the finish line, looking pretty good there. We're going to take a few moments here and we're going to talk to some of those guys, and we're going to get a chance to hear what they thought about tonight's race. We'll start things off with Heath Snyder, finishing in 3rd place here. I'll be getting his opinion on the race. Hey, Heath, can you hear us?
I got you.
All right. Hey, how you doing after tonight's race?
Doing pretty good. I was really hoping I could pull off that win, but I just didn't have it on that long run there.
Long run looked pretty difficult, but you had quite the battle going on there with Kyle Westwood, too, at the very end. What were your thoughts when Kyle made that final move to pass you for second?
I thought about trying to cut the bottom off, but I figured I'd probably have a better run off the turn, sticking to the high side, but he just had more tire left than me, I guess, so he stuck pretty well.
Well, it seemed like defense was kind of the name of the game for you tonight. Does that sound accurate?
Yeah, when that's in a way, basically runs as a draft track, so you kind of have to be defensive. You don't want to run up front, burn all of your stuff up, so you don't necessarily want to pull away, you kind of just want to maintain the gap. So that's what I was trying to do, but there at the end, like the last few laps of the run, that right rear tire was definitely starting to go.
Yeah, well, we hope you we're glad that that right rear tire held on as long as it did and got you to the third place finish, that bronze medal. Congratulations there. Anyone you want to shout out to or thank tonight for your performance?
Yeah, once again, thanks to the guys back at ESC. This was a pretty good setup. I think it ran a little bit better in the Open than what it did here, but I'll take the third. And then obviously thank you to you guys for putting on the broadcast.
Well, thank you, my friend, for putting us on the front of that truck there, and we will hopefully talk to you in Victory Lane again very soon.
Hopefully so.
All right, folks, that's Heath Snyder, your third place finisher. I'm going to pass things over to Sheldon Adkins, who's going to be talking with Kyle Westwood, the second place finisher for tonight's race. Take it away.
Hey, Kyle, Sheldon up here in the booth. I just want to say, man, I don't think I've seen a driver so determined, or I don't think I've, especially, let me back that up. I don't think I've seen you so determined behind the wheel as I did tonight, man. You were throwing every opportunity you got. You were trying to throw that truck in holes that didn't exist, trying to scratch and claw all race. And it seemed like it was just a race down between you and Heath for 3/4 of this thing tonight. Man, just talk me through that, because I know you were thinking about points and everything.
Oh, yeah.
Every corner you went into.
Yep. So I will say I don't normally race like that. But coming down to the wire the way it is, I don't know. I call it me being desperate, whatever you want to call it. I'm just trying anything I can, put myself in some situations. I even had my inner voice saying, "Don't do that, don't do that." But I mean, like I said, I was trying everything tonight. But man, was that fun! That was a lot of fun racing up front with those guys. I don't normally get to toss it up for the lead back and forth like that, so I was trying to take advantage of that and have as much fun as I could tonight.
Well, Kyle, I got to say, man, you know, normally we talk about we mentioned the phrase live by the sword, die by the sword, but tonight, you wielded that thing perfectly. You didn't throw a tire a bad way. You put together as aggressive and flawless a performance I think I've seen anybody do, especially without, making any mistakes. There were times where I thought it ain't going to stick this entire race, but even after you got out there, scorched your tires, what was the secret to keeping that truck moving forward and into the positive with as hard as you were driving it tonight?
Man, I couldn't even tell you. I want to say luck. There were quite a few times I threw it in the corner. I'm like, please stick, please stick, please stick. And it did. Even surprisingly, that final corner, when I sent it in there underneath Heath, because I know I think the points are gonna come down to him and I after this race for the lead, I believe. And I knew that going into the final lap. So I knew I wanted to try something going into that last corner. I think he probably used up his tires a little bit more than I did battling Joseph there for the lead. So I tried it one last time in the race just to get it to stick, and luckily it did there on the bottom.
And let's see, finally, with this being the penultimate race of the SSRL Truck Series presented by Chasity Tucker Realtor, how are your confidence levels? Because you said that you don't normally drive like that, and you tried it tonight, and it worked. Every second of every lap, you found a way to make something work for you. How are the confidence levels going into next week? Did you learn anything out there that you didn't quite know in this truck up to this point?
Yes, and I think because we're in Charlotte next week, that's going to be the finale. I feel like a lot of the same rules kind of apply there. There's a lot of you can make a lot of moves by getting it to stick in certain situations. Get multiple grooves there too, which I'm looking forward to. But yeah, I mean, hopefully next week I'm just able to kind of replicate some of the stuff I was able to do tonight. Get it to stick there in some, hopefully not too sketchy situations, but I'm hoping it's there when I need it.
Well, Kyle, with all that in tow here, who all do you want to thank and shout out for a second place performance and a pretty good spot to be sitting here for the championship?
Yeah, I just want to thank my teammates first and foremost for helping me with some advice and practice tips all week long. Want to thank Boomer Buttonbox Scott Schroeder for allowing me to put him on the truck every week, and then want to thank Dave, Jordan, and all the other guys in the league for putting everything together here, and of course you guys up in the booth for putting on the awesome show you guys do every week.
Well, thanks for putting on a good show there on the track. And with that, I'm going to hand it over to old Joe LaCastro here with your race winner, Heath Snyder.
Hey, that's me, and we are now going to talk to our race winner, Joseph Tucker. Let's see about getting a word from our winner here. Joseph, can you hear us?
Yes, sir.
Hey, congratulations on that gold medal tonight, my friend. How you feeling after that one?
Oh, I'm feeling very surprised that I beat Keith after all this.
Yeah, feel very surprised. You said because of what now?
Because of me beating Keith.
Oh,
That's
sorry.
something I'll never do.
Well, you managed to gum up 12 positions over the course of tonight's race and take it away with the win. You really had a pretty decisive blast there at the end of some speed. What do you got under the hood tonight?
I only have Team Conti under the hood, but like, it's either me or the set, which I think it's both, because I've been flying the past few weeks. It just sucks I'm not in the playoffs anymore.
Yeah, we were kind of hoping to see you there, but yeah, you have been absolutely flying. That was something that we were talking about earlier in the race, actually, was that over the last couple of weeks, you have been a name that's really moved up very, very far, very fast in the league, and we look forward to seeing you race week over week. Is there anyone you want to shout out to or thank tonight for your performance?
Yeah, I'd like to thank my mom and dad for letting me do this. Chasity took a Realtor for being my sponsor, an amazing mother. Team Conti for the sets, Mission 22. Also Intent Racing, Gary, Drew. They're great guys. Sucks that Drew wasn't able to make it though. You guys for broadcasting, SSRL for putting this all on.
All right, well, thank you very much for your amazing race talent here on display tonight, and we look forward to seeing you race here in the last race of the series coming up very soon.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
And there you go, folks. Joseph Tucker, your winner tonight from Kansas Speedway. Sheldon, how about your takeaway from this one?
Well, I have to agree, man. It is a crying shame that Joseph Tucker wasn't able to make it into the final round of the playoffs because he put together a butt whooping tonight. And definitely a huge statement that'll be heard all the way into the beginning of next season here for the SSRL Truck Series. Aside from that, man, that Kyle Westwood versus Heath Snyder battle, that's going to come to a boiling point next week, and I'm so excited to sit up here in the booth with you and cover the season finale from Charlotte Motor Speedway.
Yeah. You know it's going to be fun, buddy. I'm really excited for it. I hope you folks at home watching are really excited for it. We've had a hell of a season so far, and we're going to have a hell of a finish. So this has been, I think before I even do the send off, I just want to say my takeaway from this is that Kansas has been just a track that I've learned so much about over the course of the last couple of days here, just getting used to the amount of challenge that this track can have. I didn't give it enough credit going in, and I will never underestimate it again. So, folks out there from the entire Grid Vision team, we want to thank you for watching and participating in the chat. For more information on getting your league broadcast or starting your career in broadcasting, contact us on Facebook, X, or email us at info@gridvision.live. Congratulations again to Joseph Tucker on winning tonight's race from Kansas. This has been Joe LaCastro, Sheldon Atkins, and Austin Derbyshire. And hey, we'll see you next time on the grid.